It's Cash Color Campus, a high level of conversation on live hiphopdaily.tv. And this episode is sponsored by Cannbish Clothing. So everything from our Cannbish Signature Collection to our Drug Lord and Return to Viper collections are all available for purchase right now. So head to cannbishclothing.com and shop today. Yo, shout out to my man Joe. Joe looks mad easy to draw. Like, I feel like I could draw Joe right this second.
I can do it just from the image in my mind.
Joe look mad easy to draw. What's up, everybody? So it's your boy Mecca back at it at Live Hip Hop Daily Studios with my special guest tonight, my girl Jessica. Hey, Jess.
What's up?
Hey, Shanae. I'm good. Like most people around the city, we would know you from Sizzling Smoke Shop. It was a place where we would go to pick up smoking accessories and such.
Shout out to West End.
West End, man, and we would all kick it there. It was a really cool spot to have. But Jess is on to bigger and better things, and one of the bigger and better things is the Elevated Food and Wine Festival. Did I say it right?
You got it correct. Hashtag EFWF.
I like that. She came with a hashtag and everything.
I had to think about it really hard just then.
Jess, how you been?
I almost forgot. I've been great, actually. I mean, just staying immersed in the cannabis community, meeting with a lot of people that just make impacts in the industry in different ways. I recently just came from the Champs Convention out in Las Vegas, connected with a lot of dope brands, a lot of dope business owners, some that I already know from here, and some new ones. So I've just been, keeping my feet to the street.
Keeping my feet to the street.
This festival has been my big baby right now.
I see, man. We gonna get into that, but before we get into that, like I mentioned, most of us will probably know you from Sizzling Smoke Shop, but Sizzling Smoke Shop is no longer here.
No.
Talk to us about that moment, man. I've been wanting to ask you that for a while. Like, what was it like when you knew that you was I'm gonna let this go for us?
When I actually pump faked earlier in the year, because my heart is attached to, like most entrepreneurs, my heart was attached to my creation.
Yeah.
And so when I was initially about to do it, I said, "Nah, I'm good. I can make this 45-minute drive, and just okay if I don't have any staff that's coming in, or just all the various trials that just come with being an entrepreneur." I always say, like, don't say you want to be a business owner or an entrepreneur if you don't fall in love with solving problems. Because owning a business is nothing. I mean, life is just a series of problems. But owning a business, especially if you want it to be successful, it's just solving problems. Every day something goes wrong, a new wrench is thrown in the system. So that wasn't really an issue for me, but it just became overwhelming. And once you lose the love for, I didn't want to sit in the smoke shop. Yeah. I loved having a space for people to come, have a safe space to consume, find education about things they might not have known about cannabis. But I personally did not want to be sitting in a shop for 10 hours a day. That wasn't what my vision included. So I took my skills back up to Beaufort.
I feel you on the part about not sitting there, kind of losing your love, because it can happen. We all get burnt out in a lot of ways. But when you're attached to something like you're attached to, like the same thing with me with Cash Color Campus, I've hit the point where I thought to myself, I don't even feel like recording this tonight. Like I don't feel like dealing with y'all. I don't feel like talking to Joe. I don't feel like doing none of this. I don't feel like doing none of this.
What?
But
He's so easy to talk to.
Joe is easy to talk. He's easy to draw too.
You just easy.
Just a simple ass. Yeah, right. Just simple. But for real, I understand the sentiment. Because it can get easy for you to get burnt out, and you had a lot on your plate. You was doing all that by yourself.
Oh yeah, it was a one-woman show. And then on top of it, like I mentioned before, I have a 17-year-old and an 11-year-old. And they gave up a lot of my time in order for me to, they were very supportive.
Ooh, you about to span middle school and high school. It's running together.
Don't make me cry on camera.
I'm sorry. Sorry.
My baby graduating this year.
Yeah, you told me that in the back. She got ready for prom. Was prom recently?
Yes.
Am I tripping? Why's prom happening in March?
I don't know, but get it over with, because there's so much stuff you got to pay for when your kid is graduating and going to college.
I didn't go to my prom.
Really? I went to both of my proms.
I told a friend of mine yesterday about this story. I protested silently, like they didn't know I was protesting, but I silently
Against
protested
what?
my prom.
Why?
Because I didn't want to be there in the first place. Like, the only reason I was even at this school was because my father passed, and I didn't want my mother to be by myself. Like, I was literally in school
sense.
if I want to know background on Young Mecca, I was in school at Winchendon School in Winchendon, Massachusetts. I literally had a dorm room. I was at a prep school. I was literally in a
That's
boarding
what's
school.
up. All right, little Tariq St. Patrick.
Exactly. Well, I had the slight ability to play basketball, so this is early junior year of me. My father passed though right before my senior year, so I didn't want to. I couldn't even fathom the thought of being up there by myself and my mom by herself because my sister and brother all live down south.
Yeah, I can.
So I came on back. So when I get to this school, I will never mention their names. Stop sending me emails. I'm never giving you money. I hated y'all that much. I'll tell you to your face.
You're not a proud alumnus.
No, I'm not a proud alumnus at all. This place. But when I was there, I was so pissed off every day I was there that by the time we get to prom, I remember telling somebody at school, they was like, "Hey, so you're gonna go to prom?" And I said, "Bro, I want to hear Dave Matthews Man all fucking night."
Hey, no, real talk. When my daughter came home, because I moved up to the north side.
Yeah.
My kids are first generation north side kids. I still love East Point. Zone 3 made me. But I moved my kids up there. Gwinnett has a great school system, but they don't have the most flavor. And Jada said that the music was kind of lame. So
Look, you talking about most flavor? She still had more flavor than the flavor they didn't have.
she do. Oh, we brought all the flavor up from south of 20.
Bro, I was
we good.
I was in a school where people pretended to be Sopranos. Like I was so over these kids. Like matter of fact, it was at that moment that I realized how many. So black people, Italians, all across groups of people, all like to pretend to be gangsters. Like it's never in your blood, never lived your life. You've been a John Morant your whole life.
It's
you know
cool.
what I'm saying?
It's a cool look.
Wasn't even adjacent to this. Like this is me coming from Mattapan. I'm watching you kids who. There's only one kid in this school. I'm pretty sure his father was in mob. Like whenever I talked to him, he was in construction. He used to love telling me how, you know what I mean? Like I knew I had a good feeling. His dad was in the mob. The rest of y'all not even mob adjacent, but y'all walking around talking about get out of here all day. Get out of here.
Are you serious?
All fucking day.
You know, I'm glad you.
This is how much I hate
up.
these kids. Like I sometimes think to myself, all of y'all got to be politicians at this point. Like you know what I'm saying?
Just fake.
Some of y'all invaded the state capitol on January 6th. Like I'm pretty fucking sure.
Dang.
Some of the people I went to high school with graduated to become insurrectionists.
You went to school with insurrectionists.
I'm pretty sure, man.
That's what's up.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, they played that role.
But I mean, when you say that though, I feel like a lot of times when people say, "Oh, we the only people that do this," and we the only people.
Yep.
That do. If you're from Atlanta, you cannot tell me that you didn't grow up in a black neighborhood, around black businesses, with black teachers.
Facts.
I mean, everywhere you go, everything is black. So I'm trying to figure out where y'all get these multicultural experiences to where you can say that we're so different than another culture. I haven't seen a culture yet that doesn't like flashy, rich people stuff.
The real shit is people don't experience other cultures enough. Like when I was in, like you know, Herb, you can say the same thing being from New York. You knew that being a dark-skinned dark-skinned Italian, dark-skinned Dominican, they all get criticized. Like nobody wants the dark skin in the group. Period. Dark skin Greek, dark skin Korean, Vietnamese. Nobody wants the dark skins around. Nobody wants that. So when I be hearing the colorism that's only in our community, I'm like, you need to go see other communities because that happened. There's dark skins everywhere. They don't like them.
I don't know, but I don't know. Maybe they'll see this and open their minds.
Yeah, we got real deep real quick. We're supposed to be talking about other shit.
People are not that bad, y'all. People of all races do stuff.
Yeah, long story short, all of the races do a bunch of stunting. Because like I say, I knew a bunch of dudes from around my way who I knew y'all was nerds. You know what I'm saying? But let them get around another circle, they damn near gang members. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how I felt when I was at this school. I'm like, yo, y'all are pretending to be mobsters, and it's weird as hell.
You know the great equalizer?
What?
Cannabis.
Yes.
Cannabis brings everybody together.
It does, man. It does. Cannabis does. I love weed. Shout out to weed. Yo, weed. One
big
time.
Big up.
One time.
Put my
man.
water out for some weed.
And weed is the reason why we're here today, man. Because I want to talk to. Well, not necessarily weed. 'Cause I don't want to make it feel like the festival you're putting on is strictly a weed festival because it's not.
I mean, I'm not offended by that because I just find that I want to cater to that community. But I see what you're saying. No, I appreciate it.
Shout out to Elevated Food and Wine Festival. How did you come up with the idea for that?
Well, before Sizzling Smoke Shop was a shop, it was I call it a cannabis culture experience. So we had an event called I would say the cannabis culture experience.
Let me see. My man said,
So we used to have an event called Brunch and Bake. We did a couple of events, but the biggest one was called Brunch and Bake. And it was basically a situation where people would come in. It was divided up into two rooms. One room would be like a lounge area, hence the garden lounge. And then the other area, we had a chef come in, and he would do a guided class to show people how to make their own edible dishes, infused dishes. So it was a cool little interactive experience. People seemed to enjoy it. You know, we had vendors there in the lounge area. And so from that, you know, Sizzle and Smoke was really brought up on infused food. That was kind of the base of it. So when I thought of the Elevated Food and Wine Festival, I really didn't want to just do a pop-up. Like, I don't know. I'm just tired of pop-ups. I want to go somewhere that's actually an experience, an event where you want the attendees to feel like, I don't know, they're doing more than just shopping at a flea market.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So that was just generally kind of like where that came from. And we have a brand called Herbal Libations that's going to be a part of the festival, and they're the only infused wine vendor that I know that I love to death. They actually sold out of the shop for a little while.
infused with, when we say infused with what?
It is infused with cannabis.
Really?
And it is very good wine.
This is wine.
It's wine.
Will we be able to purchase a bottle while we're at this place?
I hope Mr. Lance will be bringing a bottle for
Yeah,
everybody. But
yeah.
yes, he will be there. He'll be behind the bar, so
That's what's up.
you'll have a chance to taste. You know, get you a nice little Shardy, some Moscato, something like that. You'll be good to go.
I want to be fancy. That sounds like a vendor I might want to have at my event one night. Like, I want to have a wine, tasting or something. Listen, Herb, if Herb co-signed it, it's something.
Okay, now hold up.
Yeah.
Now let me put that in my little list.
Yeah, right. I mean, we're gonna be drinking out of red cups, but
But it's gonna be cool though, and I mean, we got infused spirit maker. We have psilocybin, a shroom. Vendor is gonna be there with different types. Like, I was very big on vetting my vendors. I wanted to make sure we had a good mix, and that it wasn't just like I'm collecting vendor fees. I'm here to. Any event that I throw, I want to bring value to both the attendees and the participants.
Ooh, that vendor fee thing, boy. You talk about, there's a bunch of people who have conversations just alone about
I
how
could have a
vendor-
conversation about that. I
Yeah.
speak from my own experience, and I don't want to be like the people I've complained about.
Yeah.
So
The last pop-up I went to, and I knew it was going to be my last pop-up because of the amount I was spending, and I just kept feeling like it was going up and up and up, almost like rent prices. Like, are y'all basing this off, is this an LRO going on situation? Like, are y'all pricing your prices because everybody else is at this point?
Nah, for real.
Because shit started just going up and up and up and up and up, and I was like, it's not even that fun no
and
more.
where's the value?
Yeah, you just let
'Cause
anybody
you can't
in.
just charge just because, and you can't do a pop-up like that every week. That's not how that works. It's not exclusive.
Yeah.
Access brings down value.
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, facts. So you gotta have some kind of exclusivity to what you do.
Make it a real.
Yeah, you heard that. Yeah, Joe.
Don't be over there trying to hype people up, bruh. He over there grunting and moaning and stuff.
Do you see why Joe is part of the team? He's just a
Show you
ridiculous human being, man. But
No.
you're right though. Like I say, exclusivity is key. You know what I'm saying, when it comes to building a brand. You can't be so accessible. Like, I don't feel like if I'm available 24 hours a day, then there's nothing special about me. I start becoming almost a mascot to the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, you start becoming that. What's the value there?
Exactly. Yeah. And even if it is good quality, I know a lot of good quality cannabis vendors. But if it's always available, again, it just brings down like I got to go because this is something I can't get in a store and da-da-da. They only come once every 2 months or something.
Yeah, you
So,
take it down. Like,
that era's a little over.
I don't, I can't say if it's over because literally I haven't been to a pop-up way before. You know what I'm saying? I stopped going even way before because it started becoming a situation where, like you mentioned, it's not exclusive no more. Like, you're doing them every 2 weeks. Like, it's just really no point of going. But what I do appreciate is, like, events like you're trying to do. You vet out your vendors. You want to make sure this is going to be a good quality. I don't charge. Like, if we ever do something around here, I'd rather pick 2 people I just like, who I know are consistent and who do good work, versus, like you said, collecting vendor fee. I'm not into collecting vendor fees. Like, if I say no, we're full, that means I already picked the 2 people. Like, I'm not trying to crowd this room
With people.
Yeah, with people. Like, that's not my goal. Like, I don't even like being around a bunch of people.
Now, I did begin to monetize at the shop when people, I feel like when people find value in what you're doing and
Yeah.
they feel like it brings value to them as well, then yeah, I mean, hey, shout out to Hood Unicorn again. I know she tired of me saying her name, but she didn't let me discount nothing. She was like the bull of the shop. You know what I'm saying? She was like, no, is this, because I'm real like, oh, don't worry about it, just pull up and
Yeah.
that. Because I build these relationships with people, and I don't feel like it's necessary. But again, going back to all the things that come with owning like a brick and mortar, and you have all these overhead as opposed to kind of like being more flexible and being able to move how you need to depending on what's going on at that time. And so I really tried to make sure that I diversified some of my streams. So like we used to have like a food pop up at the shop. And so like $50, you know what I'm saying, $35, whatever. Some people, just pull up.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a thing where when they came, it was like they got the customers and they got their people coming. So it was like
That's the
even
swap
exchange.
out. Yeah, that's the swap out. I always feel like if I don't charge you, I'm gonna make money. Whatever I would have charged you, I would have made that. Like it's
Exactly.
really not worth charging you up front about
So
that.
it just depends. But I feel what you're saying though, and vendor love all day.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
We come from that.
Yeah, man. So what other events? Excuse me. What else should we expect from the event? Because you had mentioned you're gonna have infused drinks. We're gonna have a shroom person there.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have. I think we have 2 shroom vendors, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And we have a lot. We're gonna have about 25 vendors.
Yeah.
10 food vendors. We're gonna have some merch vendors there. We got some great like jewelry makers, shirts, everything. So we're gonna have a lot of that there. And then we're also gonna have like a lot of interactive activities. And that's kind of what I'm excited about. Like when I use the word festival, I mean that shit. This isn't just a word. A festival is a festival. It's indoors, outdoor. It's an indoor and outdoor facility that we're gonna be right here in Midtown. But I want like games. I want prizes. We having a live cooking demo with 2 of our chefs, Chef Jade and Chef Chrissy. They're gonna be there showing people how to make their little. So we bringing a little bit of brunch and bake into the festival. We also gonna have a live paint and smoke sesh. So we got Drew coming in, and he's gonna lead our art sessions, so people can have time to break off and just kind of chill, get a little activity. We're also gonna have a speaker panel, so we're gonna have people come. We got Dr. April of Total Food and Pharmacy from the West End.
Hey, Dr. Hang.
I love her. Then we got Mr. Stanley Atkins from M4MM.
Cannbish, what up?
Medical marijuana. I
Yep.
was brain fart. And then we also have a young lady named Keita Weedy, and she's gonna be Keity Weedy, and she's gonna be coming in. She actually from DC.
I was going to say I know this name. I feel like I follow you.
I think you probably do.
Yeah.
But she rolls with with that scene up there. I know. I actually noticed her because she had on a Buy Weed from Women jacket, and so when I saw that, I was like, oh, okay, we got to connecting, and she does a lot in the cannabis community too. So we're gonna have a real immersive panel where people are able to. I'm gonna moderate it, but we're just gonna cover some things so people get a little more insight, and then all of our VIP ticket holders have access to a private Q&A session with our panel where they can ask direct questions to them that they want to know.
I like that. You put that together pretty well there.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds really organized and real smooth, straight to the point.
I try. I'm a little OCD, so I don't like all that,
I feel like people try to do
like a fun girl.
People try to do too much in events sometimes too. It's like why we got so many things going on all in this one place? Like,
Well, it's going to be from 1 to 10 also.
oh, so you got some time.
Yeah, so I wanted to make sure. I feel like sometimes I go to events and I walk around and I look at all the vendors, and then it's kind of like, all right, well, I guess I get something to eat or smoke a blunt or something like that. But it's nothing really for me to do at the event. Like after about 20 minutes, it's kind of like you just kind of, and I'm not a stand around looking at my phone. I go home. I can go home and sit in my chair before I just sit around at some random place with jeans on. You know what I'm saying? I could be pantsless in my basement. So we wanted to make sure that people had different things that they could interact with and just just a full experience.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Which part of the experience are you looking forward to the most?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I'm not gonna lie. I'm looking forward to seeing some of the performances. My boy Dubs the Hash is gonna be performing there, and I'm just a big fan of his music. Have been for a long time.
Yeah.
I have another homie, Numiko. He's gonna be performing there. He's really dope, and I like to find artists that aren't your run of the mill rappers. So these are artists that kind of bring that same flavor. That's one of the parts that I'm really looking forward to. Outside of that, I'm looking forward to the fact that I'm gonna be done with my cannabis fast, and I'm gonna just have all these options.
When did you start yours?
I think this is day 2.
Day 2. So you're gonna make sure it's gonna be done on the day of the event.
Yeah, I think I try to give myself a couple. No, I give myself a couple days before 420, so I can kind of ease back in. Because if I break my cannabis fast, like at an event, like last year we were at an event on 420. It was like, people would just hit me in the face with blunts and joints.
Was it the sesh?
Yes.
That's why I couldn't go, because I was in the middle of mine at that time. And I'm on Instagram. It's almost like, what's that SpongeBob meme where the dog is inside, he's seeing all his friends just running down? I'm seeing Mike. I'm seeing Dr. Hodge. I saw Jesse Horton. I'm like, everybody just smoking. I'm sitting back like, I can't even be around y'all, dog. Like, I got to take a drug test in a little while.
But see, that's
I've
part
been
of the
doing good.
discipline, though, because you got to understand, I was doing my fast while I was working at the shop.
Ooh.
People would just come to the shop just to smoke with me. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like, it changes the way you feel your time, because smoking is such a habit. Like, I feel like over the past 2 days, I've had more of an urge to do like this
Than anything else?
Yeah, like, cause I gave up vape pens a week before I went on my cannabis fast, cause that shit's unhealthy as hell.
See, and that's why when it comes to when I was going through mine, I literally April was one of the months. I actually took off 3 months. So yeah, and I was trying my hardest to keep the line, to hold the line. And when I say I looked up at 420, I was like, y'all doing too much today. like y'all doing too much, and y'all tempting the
I'm
brother.
pretty sure I fell asleep in our section. Because
Really?
we were one of the sponsors, actually.
I saw y'all, like, y'all had little, like, blocked out. I was like,
First of all, let me get something straight. Y'all don't play with me or my name. Every time I do it, I got to do it big. That's just, what am I going to go up there and get a little table? I'm Professor Cannbish. Sizzling Smoke Shop is a whole movement.
Yeah, we got to have the whole
We got to make
shop.
sure everybody know that we here. So, it
Yeah,
was a movie, though. Shout out to Hannah.
I was literally in the middle of my detox at that point, and I just couldn't.
Well, I'm glad you made it. I'm glad you saw the bigger picture.
I did. I
Mr.
just couldn't.
Meckle.
I really couldn't do it. And I was like, I thought about it, but I was like, between the contact smoke and between the fact that you are around so many friends of yours and you're all like, we passed blunts left and right. I was like, you got to take an L. You got to take an L. But I'm going this year. Like this year, April's gonna be lit between y'all event. I'm going to DC for lobby day. So literally right when I get off the plane, I'm planning on coming down and going to go some 420 events.
And see, I was trying to plan it. You got me ready to book another ticket to DC.
Come on up to DC. Like, this is my first time going to lobby day. So I'm buying a suit this weekend. Like, I'm ready to go. Like, I'm walking up in there.
I got some business casual stuff at home.
I'm walking up in there with the cash color cannabis pen like I'm a lobbyist. Like, hi.
Wait, don't do that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, not that one. Actually, no, I don't know. You do that, a bunch of MAGA people be jumping up, start watching cash color cannabis.
We like him.
Yeah. I start buying shirts. No, I'm good.
They've been running the sales up.
I'll leave it alone, dog.
Okay,
but I am going.
good.
I'm going to that. Shout out to M for MM. I am going to Lobby Day, the 18th through the 20th of April.
Dope.
Like that, I'm going to Benzinga, the 11th through the 12th. So April gonna be busy for the kids.
That's exciting.
Yeah, but I'm excited to be able to go to one of your events. Like that's happening in 29th too.
course,
So
you
I'm like,
better be.
that's so lit, man.
Don't get hurt. You better be excited. It's really something worth getting excited for. Like, I really put my all in the stuff, and I'm so big on giving. I just want to give something to people.
Yeah.
So this is the opportunity to do that, and it's gonna be right there. I don't know if you're familiar with the original JR Crickets.
I didn't know if you was gonna give the location away. So it's cool to talk about the location.
Oh yeah, we can. It's right in the heart of Midtown. I mean,
Okay.
you don't have to be. Ain't nobody gonna remember the address. No way.
Wait,
but-
which JR Cricket? You talking about the one that's by that Walgreens in the North by North Station, down street from North Station?
I don't know. Is that a Walgreens? I don't know.
I'm about to walk y'all through my
Well,
Atlanta
if you're
experience.
familiar with Zyx, it's a smoke shop called
There's a
Zyx.
smoke shop near it, I think. Well, I don't know if it's still
It's a
open.
couple of them over there. I think
Cloud. The one I
Cloud
think
Nine,
is over
yeah,
there. Okay, so we're in the
in
same
that little
direction.
plaza.
Yeah, so we
Yeah.
think the same thing.
So Zyx is like right around the corner, but
Yep.
they have a very large event venue in the back. I actually do the event management for Zyx now. They're rebranding and reopening.
Say word.
And so I've done our whole event calendar. We're gonna have big events, small weekly events, but it's gonna be an experience. Me and the owner have been working together for. I actually met him when I went down to Champs.
I want to talk about Champs. I've never been, but it looked like you not only had a good time, but you walked away. It feels like with more contacts, and I just wanted to know why you went. Like, well, because I know why most people go, but I was like, Jess, I didn't know Jess was selling anything, and she had a clothing line. Nothing. Like, why Jess in Champs?
Well, I've just been really getting back more. I feel like after the closing of the shop, I took some time to kind of process that whole experience. And I really enjoy getting back out there and networking. That was one of the things that came with me being in the shop. Like people were constantly coming in, even though sometimes it was a little inconvenient. But I met so many people, developed so many relationships with people. It's just like I miss that. So going back out to these different events, and first event I ever went to was CBD Expo. It was right down here in Georgia World Congress Center.
I was there.
They changed it to the Alternative Products Expo now.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Okay. I mean, I'm not. That's not a negative. It's just like, okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
But I went there. That was really my first experience going to like a cannabis-based expo. Because I used to actually have a used car dealer's license. So I had went to the SEMA show, which is like, I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it's just basically if anybody who's anybody in the automotive industry is going to the SEMA show in Vegas. I just like going to Vegas.
I bet you. I was about to say, it just sounded to me like you like Vegas, bro.
I do. But I went there. So, I mean, I know conferences are where you go to connect with people in your industry, learn more about your industry, and just immerse yourself in what you're doing. So it wasn't just like, okay, I saw a bunch of dope products. I actually purchased a couple personally.
Yeah.
But I also, just met people who need different things like marketing, sales, events. And that's how I came across the owner of Zyx, because he needed an event manager. And so, I mean, I didn't even know that until I think I was telling him about the festival. I was like, yeah, we got the Elevated Food and Wine Festival, blah, blah, blah. I'm telling him about it. He was like, oh, okay. And so now, we've created this whole thing down there, and Zyx is going to be better than ever. So I can't wait to y'all.
Yo, that's a great story.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, you gotta really. How many people I know talk about why they don't go to certain things. Like South by Southwest just passed, and I used to. That's my first one I haven't been to since 2009. Like literally, I've been going to South by that long, and it was cool to not go. Like I realized when I outgrow shit, like I could rip a Band-Aid off.
Right.
But I used to hate hearing artists say, I'm not going. I don't know why y'all going, this, that, and the third. I'm looking like, well, first off, like, there's a reason why these people are going, and most people are going have a plan. You have a plan of who you want to meet, what you want to do, what you want to take away from this. Way too many times people go into events and go into things like South by and go to things like these major conferences.
And just be there.
And then be mad that you was just be there. I'm like, bro, you spent the money, you didn't have no plan of action. Like, that's your fault. That's why you was just there and didn't experience anything.
Yeah, and I was very proud of myself because I'm not a big, like, as hard as it may be to believe, I don't really like entertaining y'all on the internet. Like, if I do something and y'all are entertained by it, then I'm happy for you. But I don't really like to plan for attention. That just feels weird to me. But I was very intentional about documenting the whole Champs process. Even when I went out there, I had already looked up that there was only one fully black-owned cannabis dispensary in Nevada. I got a chance to visit them.
Hey, Kima.
It was very dope. Oh, okay, you know what I'm talking about?
I know Kima Ogden. Yeah, she's been part of the Cash Color Campus experience.
Okay. So you already know what I'm talking about. And
Yeah.
it was like I got to go there, talk to some of the associates, of course, purchase some things. So I also drove out to the desert to go see
Did you
what
see
is-
G5 while you was out there?
Seven Mountains?
Seven Mountains. So what's that?
I don't know, but it's some big colored rocks. Not colored like
you
this,
went and did like
but
some actual tourist shit. I was still thinking weed.
I was just not. I actually wanted to go out to the desert because I had rented like this Hemi Challenger or something, and I wanted to do donuts in the desert and film it, but I ran short of time.
She from Atlanta.
I gotta turn up. I did gamble too.
If you didn't know she was from Atlanta, again, that statement is really Atlanta.
But all in all, the Champs experience, even I fell asleep before I got to hang out with one of my homies because I'm just old like that. And I took too many Delta 8 gummies. Coy got some good Delta 8 gummies. Only take one, don't take two. But I fell asleep. It was even after the experience was over. Everybody was in town, so it was hanging out. And social networking is a thing too. I'm trying to get used to because my play side is very, very much, I'm chilling. But my professional side, where I kind of, pull it in because everybody's different. So I don't want to rub people the wrong way. So I kind of give a little bit more. I'm still me, but when you chilling, that's a whole different environment. So it's a learning experience trying to network and figure out how to do that. But it was fun as hell. Everybody in the cannabis industry is fun.
Man, okay, so now you got me hyped up about Champs. Like I had you hyped up.
Come
about
on, we
Lobby
going
Day.
next year.
Yeah, I gotta go down and pull up, get my network on.
That's it.
The hardest thing for me, and it's weird because I do this show and I do a lot of things where I'm in the front of shit. But I'm really an introvert. Like I really don't like talking to people a whole lot. I'm that person. Even when it's so crazy to me, I think about sales. Like for me to be a person who is my actual field of career is in sales. I hate having to sell for myself. Like it's two things I know I got to break out of because I still
like sitting over here saying.
I know me though. I know
Thanks,
me.
Joe.
I think about it every day. Like, bro, you make a good living off sales, but when it comes to doing cash colored cannabis, you're like,
Let me ask you a question. What makes you most uncomfortable about it?
Because the people I'm talking to, I feel like don't got it. Primarily, and I'm more like this. Like rather than me either make you pretend you got it or me have to go through the motions, I'd rather wait so I can go around the people who do got it, which goes back to why I'm going to Benzinga. I'd rather be around these people who I know I could charge you. I feel like what I charge for advertising is small as shit. You know what I'm saying? To be completely fucking honest with you, I think I should have been up the price, but the people around me, it's not what they can do. And I don't want to gouge nobody for what they can't do.
Exactly.
Especially if you're a new brand. Like, what do I look like doing that? Like, I'm not going to affect, especially with me when I look at black-owned businesses, I'm not going to put a black-owned business in a bad situation simply because they can't meet this thing. But also, I still need to be up here. Like, I can't keep playing myself. So I'm going down to Benzinga for that reason. Like, I'm gonna put my networking hat on and my salesman hat on, and I got to meet these people who got this capital. Who same thing like what E told me about MJ Biz. He'd be like, "Yo, these people be spending $100,000 on these displays."
I'm going this year. I'm not missing it.
Them are your advertising people. Like, if they could kick off six figures to do a display for one night, for one weekend, they got enough money in their marketing budget.
But I've seen you do some dope installations and interviews when you've gone to some of these shows. You got your whole cash color cannabis. So
I take advantage of
what
it.
You're supposed to.
I take advantage of it, but I could be doing more, and that's my goal of this year. Even when it coming with the magazine, I was like, I feel like I could be doing a whole lot more. So it's about time to, hit the brake, hit the gas.
It's called Cash Color Cannabis Presents.
That's the web series we got.
Okay.
Yeah, so the magazine's Cash Color Cannabis Magazine.
Okay, got you.
And then it's Cash Color Cannabis Podcast. But Cash Color Cannabis is really the whole thing. Like,
okay.
Yeah, I branded out like that.
I just wanted to put it out there again to make sure they know that you got the magazine.
I do.
And that's super dope.
Let me tell you, issue number 2 is done. I already sent it over to my copy editor. Like
Q2 going up?
Yep, Q2 going up. I kind of don't like telling y'all stuff a little early.
Okay,
like, I don't know, you ever watch wrestling?
When my cousins were watching it.
Child. I done got back into a pro wrestling fan, and a lot of the stuff. Listen to this. A lot of the marketing and a lot of the ways I start doing rollouts when it comes to shit all came from me watching WWE over the last year and a half. Like the bloodline literally inspired. If you watch how slowly I rolled out that I was even doing a magazine, shout out to Roman Reigns. Shout out to the bloodline. like I learned by watching y'all how to slow roll a story out to where you keep people engaged without them knowing exactly.
Instead of just like here.
Without exactly telling them what they're engaged about. Just keep leading them. Then boom, you'll watch people's reactions. I did that with the first issue. When I say I don't like giving out numbers and shit like that, but for real, like our first 3 days after I dropped the link, when I say it went crazy, So I'm not gonna give y'all who's on the cover just
Ooh,
yet.
I'm
Like
old.
y'all will get it next week. Y'all get it next week.
No,
but-
that's what's up. No,
Yeah.
don't tell us. I just wanted them to be tapped
Yeah.
in so they ready when it does.
She looked at me
come.
like I was crazy though. But shout out to WWE. I ain't not gonna hold y'all. The last year and a half,
I ain't know they had the marketing tools.
Yo, they do. You gotta watch the story. Yo, it's about certain storylines, like how they lead this shit out. Like I can tell y'all this is the end game. Like y'all know it's basically scripted, but no, let me roll y'all out. Let me make this like a real story. Like make you want to come in every day. Like yo, what did Mac talk about today? Like he just dropped a date and that's it, and then walked away for 3 days. What he talking about?
See, I'm about to have a whole bunch of little notes when I leave. That's actually real good advice, though.
Yeah, you got to make people want something, want to know what the hell you talking about. Versus, I could have told y'all I was coming out with a magazine when I knew I was coming out. You know, that was in September of last year. I waited until 3 weeks before I knew we was going to print.
Well, what we just say about access and exclusivity, that goes right back into that. So, okay, not reckon with the formula.
Yeah, with the formula, I'm using it right now. So y'all gonna know by next week who the cover is and all that, and I'm gonna drop subscription link. We gonna go up.
Dope. You
Yeah.
glowing talking about that thing, too.
I love it,
Did
man.
you catch that glow?
It brought back the fun. When I say I know what you're talking about burning out, like I hit a whole entire wall to the point where I was like, I interviewed everybody I want to interview for the podcast. I feel like if you haven't been on the show, because I didn't want you to, like I didn't know what else to do after a while, and I was like, something really got to kick in. And literally, I was in Jamaica last September, and prior to this, I actually did an interview for. I could tell y'all now. It was for MJ Biz. MJ Biz. Like I actually did an interview for them. They had a place on their magazine for their website that they wanted me to fill, but they wanted me to actually do possibly magazine website, possibly working on the events and their podcast. It was a whole package.
Well,
they put together.
congratulations. That's a good opportunity to even be presented.
Yeah, it was. We went through three interviews. I thought the job was mine. Like literally, we had the whole I knew what the salary package was. I knew everything they was about to give me, and I'm sitting in Jamaica, literally on the beach. It's maybe 2 weeks now after they say, "Yo, we're gonna call you back in 2 days." And I'm looking like, the fuck's taking? Yeah, exactly. That was my oomph. I was like, hell, taking so
Like,
long.
I ain't trying to bug you, but let me know something.
Yeah, exactly. So by the time I'm sitting on this beach, I get an email, and I'm like, oh, that's like, so I'm reading the email thinking they was about to send over the package. And they was like, all right, so we thought about it. We're going to go another route, but we still want to fuck with y'all in another way, so blah, 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 blah. And I was like, that's cool. I'll still kick it around. But when I got that email, I said to myself, the money y'all's about to pay me means that y'all getting money from advertising for all this shit. Why did I just go through a whole interview where I had to explain to you every single story I ever did, had to present to you why I could do, who I can get quotes from, I could do all this shit. I might as well put out my own magazine. I literally said that on the beach. I said, you might as well put out your own shit if that's the case. You just proved to
Now,
them why you
that's a
could do
dope
it.
story.
Yeah, you just proved to them that you could do your job. And then they didn't give it to you. That's a God's blessing.
But that's part, I was just about to say, that's part of the journey. I've
Yeah.
learned not to trip about a lot of stuff, like people or just situations, because, I mean, however you feel, everybody ain't super religious, but, the vision you have in your head ain't always the same one God has for you.
Facts.
I mean, and then just the world, you can't control life, bruh.
No.
Like,
and
roll with the punches.
And I still love them. It was a super dope time to do. Like I said, I did 3 interviews with them. I did with a initial recruiter. I had to sit down with their vice president.
Dang.
I had to sit down with the whole editorial team. We had me and 8 other people having this interview. Like this is a done deal in my mind.
That was an eye-opening experience.
Yeah.
People do that for real.
Yes, they do.
And
People
that's
do
why
that. People do that.
I
but-
abhor dick writing. Can I say that?
Yeah, you could.
Okay, because I feel like, I don't know, people chase what they see because they think it's going to be this, that, or the third. But at the end of the day, a lot of the people at the top gatekeep.
Yeah.
They steal ideas. Like,
That's how you stay at the top.
working in corporate showed me that, because, when you outside of the box, you see these people and you think they so smart and they in these suits. I was probably the smartest person up in that control room when I was working there, and everybody was literally just kind of playing the role and keeping that, air of, I got this. But a lot of times people are playing it by ear too. Now, I'm not trying to take nothing away from people with real experience and results, tangible results, but you have to really just kind of look at people's intentions, because sometimes we look at opportunities, and even now when an opportunity presents itself, even this prime example, this situation with ZyX, my time is very valuable to me, and I'm good at what I do. I do graphics. I've been doing event planning. I used to throw club parties back in college. we had Battle of the Bands lit. You know what I'm saying? So I do this. And so when people come to me, I'm just kind of skeptical because I don't know. I take a minute to just kind of warm into it and see what their actual intentions are. Because sometimes people do just want to steal your ideas.
Yeah.
And if you see any of them, I know some good lawyers.
It's
Suing MJ, oh, my bad.
No, I ain't gonna do that. I
I'm
ain't
just
do
playing.
that.
I ain't gonna play like that.
It's been love, and like I say, I took it away from what I took away from that moment was I went through all that because, like you said, it's God's plan. I went through all that to be reminded that I can do it myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like so many times you think to yourself, I just want to be attached to this and I just want to be attached to that. But I really walked away thinking, you know, what y'all was about to pay me means y'all was getting money. And I'm in these events, I'm at these conferences with y'all, I'm doing a whole lot of shit. I'm looking like, how am I passing up all this when I know what I could put together? I know what I could put together based off the whole interview I just had to do with y'all. I had to prove it. You know what I'm saying? So I could do it. You're right. I could bring all this to life every quarter for me right now.
That's real.
Yeah. So.
But I mean, I feel the same way. I guess that's why this festival is kind of like, it's the biggest event that I've ever done. So I mean, it has the same components of events, but I wanted to do something different. I always just like pushing the envelope. I kind of feel like once I experience something, maybe it's like a yay or nay type thing, but I'm not going to see that an experience is possible without seeing if I can experience it myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to just watch other people open shops. Well, if they ain't open shops, like, I don't know what hating is. All I know is motivation. Because if another person can do it, that means there's a possibility that I can do it too. It gives me hope. So, I mean, I just put my nose while I was at my job. I did all this research, everything, put everything together, and I figured out how to open up that shop, and it became like a real thing, you know. So I feel like, just like what you said, that was like a change in perspective, having that experience. So that's real. Yeah. And now we got the magazine.
Yeah. Well, now we got an event too, and it's April 29th.
Yeah. Catch up.
So how can somebody get a ticket for? Because I know tickets are on sale now. How can they get involved? Are you still taking vendors?
We have a couple of vendor slots left. We're full on merch vendors. We have a couple of food vendor slots left. We're full on our bar vendors. Our bar is fully sponsored. And I really want to give a big shout out to Just the Tip Accessories.
Shout out to JTT.
JTT. She is our official gold sponsor.
Really?
And I really love those products. Like, I've been following that account for a while. So now we got her a part of the wine festival too. I'm
so happy for your transition, man. Like, so many people would have just crashed and burned, but you got back up from the fire and said, "What's next?" Raised
no hoe, bro. I don't care all that crying. Weeping may endure for the night, baby, but joy comes in the morning. Okay, bro. Just don't be no punk.
Whoa,
you feel me?
Whoa. She giving quotables on here.
Well, that's
tonight.
Jesus, ain't it? I'm quoting Jesus.
Quotables on here. That's Jesus. Why she thought it was Dolph for a minute, but she said, I was like, she just give me a Dolph.
Wait, are we doing Dolph quotables?
Yeah.
I got some of those too. The hell you talking about?
Dolph get paid, young nigga get paid, man.
Hey.
Jess, a.k.a. Professor Cannbish, a.k.a. Event Planner Extraordinaire.
Oh, yeah.
A.k.a. All-Around Hustler, Zone 3 Native. You know how it go. My girl, Jess, thank you so much for coming on the show today.
Thank you for having me once again. I got to grace the sofa twice.
Yeah, you did. And
it's actually full circle because you got to me right at the beginning when I was opening, and now in this new phase. So I really appreciate it.
I went and watched it last night. When you was here first time, you had the big braids.
I did.
Yeah, she had the braids in the hair. They chunky Jones, man.
Can I tell you something real quick?
Yeah.
When I came on that show, right after I opened the shop, it was a very turbulent opening, and I had actually lost function on one side of my face.
Did you have a stroke?
I don't know. The lady at the hospital said no, but she said it might have just been stress induced. But you know, they discount black women's health.
Yeah, anyway. I'm like, that's not like a stroke. Like,
But I went because I wasn't sure. It wasn't like it was like, you know what I'm saying, or anything. But it was like if you really look close, like part of my mouth is kind of like this, and it was like I went through so much stress. Actually, I don't know what exactly it was, but it went away. So it just goes back to that entrepreneurship thing. You got to be ready. Yeah. So get ready.
Yeah, be ready, actually. Yeah. Jess, thank you for coming on the show tonight. I really appreciate you.
Of course.
April 29th, make sure y'all get y'all tickets for Elevated Food and Wine Festival. I'll be there myself. I'm definitely going to be there trying out this bar. I want to meet you.
ElevatedFoodAndWineFestival.com.
ElevatedFoodAndWineFestival.com. We are we are the media sponsor, so you will be seeing us sponsoring. You see us promoting the event and telling y'all. Make sure y'all get your tickets ahead of time. 'Cause we want to make sure we pack this out for her.
It's gonna be a movie.
Yeah, man. Thank you for coming on the show tonight. And again, that's Cash Color Cannbish, a high level of conversation on livehiphopdaily.tv.
Bye.
Yeah.